Brazil. Yeah.
I've really made sure this thing is connected, so hopefully this doesn't happen like what happened yesterday. What up, YouTube? It's me, Riz Ill, and I'm gonna talk in a more confident voice just in case the mic isn't connected again. Shit! That was such a good reaction. I'd like to welcome you back to my channel, and today we're going to be doing another RANCID reaction. I'm going in for the third time. Let's go. And this one is titled Red Hot Moon. It was suggested by @Viracocha03. Sorry, @Viracocha03. Thank you again for wonderful suggestions and wonderful music. And I am looking forward to seeing this. RANCID hasn't let me down yet, like so many other. Not so many other. I do have some dud reactions. Not dud in terms of like it was a bad reaction, but some dud reactions in terms of I didn't really feel the song. But RANCID isn't one of them. I've loved the entire trip. I've loved the punk rock vibes, and I can't wait for another vibe. So hey, without further ado, let's get to it.
Under a red hot moon, take a bus downtown to the graveyard shift tonight. Under the red hot moon, take a bus downtown to the graveyard shift tonight.
Casey's California's got a reputation that she didn't ask for, and she's waiting for an escape now. Escape is called the 164. Now Casey, she don't want to admit where she is from. And Casey, she wants to run. She's a punk rocker, she don't trust no one. On a South Bay bus all day long.
Under a red hot moon, take a bus downtown to the graveyard shift tonight. Under a red hot moon, take a bus downtown to the graveyard shift tonight.
Casey was never caught up like the rest of the rats in a maze. Check me out, she said, I'm in a concrete jungle. I'm an individual and you are stuck in a haze. Oh hell no, she knows what the truth is, cause she said so. And she knows who her friends are, so don't get no closer, it'll only make her run far away.
Under a red hot moon, take a bus downtown to the graveyard shift tonight. Under a red hot moon, take a bus downtown to the graveyard shift tonight.
I knew Casey's brother pretty well. Let's say we spent a long time hanging out. I always thought so that she'd be the one to get out of here and make a life for herself. But when we found her in the Little League Park, in the dugouts, it was cold, dim and dark, and no one knew why she wouldn't wake up. I think she finally made it back home now.
Under the red hot moon, take a bus downtown to the graveyard shift tonight. Under the red hot moon, take a bus downtown to the graveyard shift tonight.
One time for your mind, two times for your soul, three for the graveyards and the money I fold. Dipped out in the city where the sun burns slow. No hope, it's a pity, I can't say no. Not my time to go, it's not my time to die. The last thing I want is for my mother to cry. It was love at first light, the very first night. Things have never been the same since I took my first flight. The way I live my life, I love, I live lavish. Lost me from the start, you lose, you'll never have this. Aren't touched, unleashed, back up, you don't want it. Get for his cash, it's back, that's how we flaunt it. Take to him, pass, I take to him. Bust the I'm out on the smash. Dipped out, I'm out of control. Let's bounce, rock, skate, man, I'm ready to roll. Under the red hot moon. Under the red hot moon. Under the red hot moon. Under the red hot moon.
This is a nice song, but the video is the video was straight until it became confusing. Because, like, okay, in terms of this song, what is it about? Is it about this girl who, um, one is like a punk who's into punk rock and is into the lifestyle to its fullest extent in a radical fashion? Because okay, I'm about to, maybe it's I'm inventing it now, or just like I'm just identifying something in terms of like punk rock. Okay, it's sort of similar to when people in politics say these are the radical leftists or the radical right wing conservatives or whatever, right? Where they're like, these people, it's like they're not just right wing, they don't just believe in these core values or have these core values within them. They're they exercise it to a radical extent, to an extent that's almost too far, to an extent that's almost cultish, you know. It's like being a Christian, like me, but then being so Christian that you don't see anything else, and then it's sort of like it becomes cultish. Like some churches become almost like a cult, honestly speaking. So in terms of like punk rock, I feel like there's some punk rockers that are radical punk rockers, where it's like you don't just like punk rock, you embrace it, and you embrace its wild side to such an extent you become a radical one. And I think that can be toxic because, okay, me, I'm not the biggest punk rock fan in the world, but I am a punk rock fan. I've liked it from a young age. I've just never been involved in that culture, call it where I'm from, or call it what you call my whatever it is, circumstances, etc., etc. I've still been a punk rock fan, but I've only ever associated with punk rock in terms of like a positive light. It's like, okay, me being involved in hip hop, I've been almost a radical hip hop fan, maybe in my teen years or so, yeah. Where it's like, you know, those radical hip hop fans that believe in like whatever the lyrics say, like go out and do drive-bys and shoot people and take drugs and fuck bitches and, you know, all of that shit. It's like you embrace it to the extent where you even start taking on the dark side, which is not good. You're only supposed to be enjoying the good side. So this one, it's like she's taken it on to such an extent where she isn't like me, where I've only taken punk rock into the extent where, honestly, I've never seen punk rock as a negative thing. I've heard or I've seen people say punk rock is like some kind of rebellious thing or whatever. But honestly speaking, me, I've only ever been associated with punk rock in like a fun way or in like a wild way, in like woo way. And that's me in the middle of Africa, you know. Like being like that, you know, even in my teen years, you know, just randomly playing like maybe a punk rock song in the middle of people who don't really like listen to punk rock. But what you call, yeah, I feel like people like this, they sort of get caught in that thing where they even embrace the negatives, and that's not good. So in this video, I'm like, is this person one of those which is like a radical punk to the extent where she's even embraced the dark negatives of like the dark side of punk rock, like being anti-social and anti-established, which can often mean in terms of this anti-everything, anti-anything that is normal. You know, you don't really like associate with people in a normal life, etc. You know, she's got the hair and everything, and I've always sort of wondered in terms of that punk rock hair, like when it gets that big, especially for women, since women naturally have longer hair than men, and then when they do that with their hair, isn't it kind of like uncomfortable, like going through doorways and stuff, or like tight spaces? Like, wouldn't that affect your hair? Because me with African hair, I don't like anything touching my hair once I set it, because African hair is very stiff. So if I move it one way, it's definitely gonna stay that way. And if I move it the other way, so after I wash my hair and everything, like this, like if anyone touches my hair, like ask about high school me, to anyone that knows me from high school, it's like if you touch my hair, we have to fight. Like we have to, it's a must. But yeah, it's like, wouldn't that mess up your hair? Okay, you've adopted the punk rock thing to its entirety. Okay, now where are we going from here? Okay, now we're going into the video where it's like, I don't know what Red Hot Moon stands for. Someone translate it for me, because I didn't catch exactly what this is about. I guess like I caught the story. It's basically like she's basically in the space where she doesn't feel like she belongs, and she feels like there's more for her outside or whatever. So she's going outside or somewhere else, somewhere far away from this thing that she feels trapped from, to the extent where it's killing her, like in the end of the video, where eventually she collapsed onto the pavement. I don't know whether she was on drugs or whatever, but she collapsed, and then I don't know, her spirit woke up and got on the bus, and then it said somewhere else. She could be dead. She could be dead, like, and then like that was like the bus to heaven, and then she's like watching her body lay there since she's dead, and then she goes somewhere else, where heaven or hell, who knows? But yeah, very different, like very like just different thoughts going through my head in terms of this. But in terms of my opinions on like this whole presentation and this whole like topic, if I've gotten the topic right, I do think it kind of sucks when people become radical about something, or some things that are so good and so like it might not be the most pure thing, or some things are pure, but it's honestly the right direction, and it's the right way forward, like pointed by people of old, in terms of like, in this way, if you go this way, human beings can find a next level in a positive light. And I hate when people take that to the extent of like radicalizing it and making it toxic. I feel that's why a lot of like political views, a lot of religious views, and just a lot of like social views in general, like throughout our society, are just taken in such a negative light. Because like when you talk, like when you see like maybe like talk about like Christians, there's always this negative view of like how we are, and then you see talk of Muslims, and then there's the whole like the infamous terrorist organization. So Muslims have to deal with that shit, and like people questioning Islam, and like I see some European countries don't even allow Muslims to go in there because they're like, we are like this, and like you and your nations are sort of like that, and we choose to stereotype and be prejudiced to you because we don't want that shit here, and like that's the extent it can get when you radicalize something that's honestly for everyone, and it's honestly like the right way forward for mankind to go in terms of moving forward in a positive light. I feel like that's just food for thought. But that's been me anyways. Like, comment, subscribe with the post notifications, and thank you for joining me today. Please translate this and leave your opinions below. You take care.